Tuesday in Tryon, North Carolina, higher ground, Melrose Mountain. It's 77 degrees, beautiful day. We're supposed to get a thunderstorm, but it never came. I have a prayer request for everybody that watches this video. Received an email from a friend that has a hairdresser that has a son that just had major brain injury from a skateboard accident. He's 17 years old. His name is John Paul. That's John Paul, major brain injury. We don't know a lot of other details except that it happened by skateboard, 17 years old. So I hope that you'll pray for him. Ever build a sandcastle? They're a lot of fun, aren't they? The nice thing is they're really cheap to build. You can build with your own design. You can have moats and you can have all kinds of interesting things if you have different kinds of cans and bottles to form the sand into the different variations that you want. There is a problem with sandcastles. They're temporal. They don't last. You see, even if you build them on a freshwater lake like we do up here, sooner or later it's going to rain, or sooner or later a dog or a cat or a wild animal is going to come through and the sandcastle is going to be history. Jesus taught about that in Matthew chapter 7, beginning at verse 24. He said, those that hear the words that I've taught, those that I've spoken, and abide by those words, that is, do those words, is like a man who built his house on a rock. And when the wind and rain come, the house stands. And he said, but likewise, a person that hears these words and does not act on them will be like a foolish man who builds his house on a sand base. And when the rains come down and the winds blow, it's sure to fall, and it will be a great fall. Sandcastle. Building a house on sand. It's really a good illustration. It's one of the things that Jesus did very well. He used visual aids to dream home a point. But I hope that you're sitting there saying to yourself, what words did he speak? If he said that a person that hears them and acts on them is wise, and likewise a person that hears them and doesn't act on them is foolish, you ought to know what he just said, shouldn't you? Wouldn't it be important to know that if you don't act on those words, it's like building a sandcastle? Well, in chapter 5, it's the Beatitudes. There are a number of subjects that are listed there. He talks about a lot of different things. He talks about marriage, and he talks about judgment, and he talks about a lot of different things. In chapter 6, he continues the teachings, and he says, beware of practicing righteousness before men to be noticed by men. Be careful about giving alms or making your offerings to be seen by men. Don't sound the trumpet. Chapter 6, he says, be careful about where you're building your treasures. Build your treasures not here on earth, but build your treasures in heaven. It's really interesting because Lois sent me an email about Corrie ten Boom, who said everything that I tried to do myself got messed up, but everything I gave to God worked out. Treasures in heaven. Chapter 7 is the golden rule. Treat other people as you want to be treated. Treat other people as you want to be treated. It talks about judging, and it says, be careful that you don't try to take the speck out of your brother's eye when you have a log in your own. Well, there's a lot of teaching from chapter 5 till those words about he who hears the words and acts on those words is wise. And he that hears those words and doesn't act on them is foolish, and great will be the fall. Might be worth some time tonight, instead of listening to a lengthy devotion by me, just to start in chapter 5 and see what those words were that Jesus said you ought to act upon. Read them and meditate on them and see how many subjects are covered and how important it is to act on those words. Otherwise, you might be building a sandcastle. Lay up your treasures in heaven, where neither moth or rust nor thieves can break in and take away. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. If your heart's in heaven, it's because your treasures are in heaven. It's your thought for the day. God bless you. Have a great day.